making it happen for you. I came all the way here just to shoot a video on travel expense, to make it legit. Well, maybe I'm here for my workshop this weekend too. But anyway, I was like, I've got to do my Thursday live. Let's talk about the travel expense, because I want all of you, whether you're going to Hawaii or not, to take a travel write-off around Thanksgiving, around Christmas, have your board of directors meeting. I had a client today say, Mark, that's what we need to talk about. We got to talk about the board of directors meeting. And I was like, travel expense and board of directors meeting, oh, they come perfectly together. So now, if hotel management comes in and says, shut the video down, that could happen. I mentioned the word video and they started to like freak out. This is Hawaii, where it's like mask manias too, so we'll see if we can pull this off. So anyway, I want to give you some tips on the travel write-off. I don't have my normal whiteboard, so I'll do my best here without having some of those things. But we're going to keep it real and do the travel deduction, and then I'm going to do live Q&A. So if you have a question about travel, that would be the best, since that's the topic today. But I'll field whatever I can and do the best I can. So thanks for watching. My name is Mark Kohler, CPA, attorney, author, podcaster, YouTube personality, and I just love saving taxes and building wealth and protecting all those goodies. So, oh, thank you, sir. So, you can't do a podcast in Hawaii without a Mai Tai. Now, I will point out, because I want to give you clear advice during the video here, this is a virgin drink, I know. But, you know, you don't need some guy lit up trying to tell you about tax. That was really good. Plus, you gotta have a little umbrella too. Anyway, you gotta have it. You gotta drink with an umbrella in it when you're in Hawaii. Okay. All right. So I've got my laptop here, trusty laptop for questions. Alrighty. So my hair's kind of a mess. I did go surfing this morning, North Shore. It was sublime. And my video guy confirmed, Corey, right?
Yes. Amazing.
Did I fall at all on the waves?
Not once.
Did not wipe out at all.
Not once.
No, these weren't 10-footers, mind you, but I still killed it. Okay, so travel write-offs. Now, here's the best part of travel. If you're traveling for business, it's 100% write-off. So what we want to do is make sure our trip at Thanksgiving, Christmas, has a business purpose. Now, maybe you're going to a workshop. You know, I'll tell you about my workshop here in Hawaii, and I've got one in 2 weeks live on Zoom. But a workshop could be hard during the holidays, right? No one's really holding workshops. So what could you do? Well, maybe you're checking on a rental property where your family lives. Maybe you've got a meeting with a customer, a client. Maybe you're having your board of directors meeting. Maybe you're meeting with a supplier, someone you buy product from for your business. Maybe someone you network with that sends you clients. Now, if you don't consummate a transaction, meaning actually buy or sell something, you want to make sure, it is warm out here, you want to make sure that you document in your notes on your calendar, on your Google Calendar, whatever you're using, make sure you write who you met with, what you talked about, why you met, and the business purpose for it. Like, I'm going to get more of a sales or more networking going on. So the meeting, you want to really do well at documenting. If you're going to hold your board of directors meeting, which is one of the easiest, you don't file it with the state, you don't file it with the IRS. Now, all of you that have an LLC or a corporation, this is easy, but you don't even have to have an LLC or corporation. I'll come back to those that are just plain old startup mode, side hustle, side gigs. You can still do this too. But for those of you that have an LLC or corporation, we're going to have a board of advisor meeting if you're an LLC, or a board of directors meeting if you're a corporation. So what that means, I'm going to kind of put this laptop in the shade more, because it is going to shut down. It's so hot right now at the moment. So when it's time for questions, I'll grab it. Okay. So what you're talking about with the Board of Advisors or meeting is having a we're golden.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good.
I feel like I'm totally clandestine right now. This is sweet. How crazy is it? You're watching a tax video undercover here. Okay, so when you do your board of directors meeting, you just pull out a piece of paper and you say, okay, I have a corporation, all of you are on my board of directors. Let me tell you about my business plans for 2022. Here's how I'm going to make money, here's how I'm going to sell, my marketing plan, whatever it is. Maybe you're talking as a family. You've got your kids there and you're talking about your investments for the upcoming year. rental properties, crypto, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whatever you're doing as a family, talk about it. Educate your children. Let them educate you. A lot of my kids, they know more about this crypto stuff than I do. So it's like, tell me, teach me, right? NFTs, EFTs, blah, 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 right? All those acronyms. So get your kids involved and have that meeting. Now, if you're older, single, married, it doesn't matter. Meet with the people you love to vacation with, who you're going to have Thanksgiving with or Christmas. Tell them you want to have a meeting. Talk about what your plans are for the upcoming year. Now, we get to the write-off part here, but you have to have a reason for the write-off. So if it's an LLC, you're going to have to title it Board of Advisors meeting. If it's a corporation, Board of Directors meeting. Here's who attended, here's what we talked about, you sign it, have them sign it, done. If you don't have an LLC or corporation, you're just going to call it a Board of Advisors meeting. Take notes and you're good to go. You're cranking, you're doing the same thing, talking about your business and what your plans are. Now, here's where the write-off comes in. If you have a business meeting when you travel, the day to get there is a write-off, the day you have the meeting, and the day you travel back is all a write-off, 100%. So that means your airfare, 100%. Airbnb, hotel, 100%. Uber, rental car, 100%. Now I'm going to come back to food, but valet, tips, anything to do with the travel to get there, hotels and all the rentals and all that, 100% write-off. Now, if you travel on a Tuesday, you get there on Wednesday, have a meeting, and you try to do business every day, like Tuesday, let's say Wednesday and Thursday, have a little meeting on Thanksgiving, and then Friday, you travel back, we can write off the whole thing. That's awesome. Now, in the process, dining is tricky. It's 100% write-off if it's prepared food. This is the cool part of, love Donald Trump or hate him, right before he left office, he said we need to help all these restaurants that got killed with COVID. So what we're going to do is if you eat at a restaurant, takeout or dine in, 100% write-off on its business. Well, when you're traveling, it's business, all business. So any dining is 100%, just like the airfare, the hotel, the Airbnb, and Uber. So when you go, well, Mark, we didn't have our meeting. Gee, I look professional here. It's not the set lights. It's called the sun, and we're going to do it in the shade, but then my face looks too dark. All right. Okay, so when it comes to dining, you may say, well, Mark, we didn't have food on Tuesday or Wednesday. We have only had food on Thanksgiving Day and talk business. It doesn't matter if you're talking business during the food or not. Your food at the airport to get there, your food at Denny's the morning of, or whatever. All of your food is dining out during that whole trip is 100% write-off because you're there on business. So really, really critical there. Now, let's say your board of directors one day. What could you do the other day? Go out and look at rental property. Now, hopefully you've got property there. Maybe you're having in a meeting again with a customer, a vendor, or a client. That helps. But having a 2-day board of directors meeting, unless you're Microsoft, I'm not seeing it. So be really careful with that. So that's travel. It's a wonderful write-off. Maybe some of you have some more questions. It's really straightforward. Let your business pay for it. If you go, well, my business is just starting out. I don't have a lot of money in it. Put money in your business to pay for it. You can say, well, I paid for the airplane tickets with my personal account. That's okay. The business can reimburse you. Keep a list of all of your expenses. Whether you're going to New York or Park City or Florida or New Jersey or Seattle, wherever you're going, try to make sure you're finding a business purpose every day as much as possible. Now, last point. Let's say you go for 5 days and 2 days are business. The other, well, no, this is tricky because your day to get there and your day to fly back is business.
Talk a little louder.
You got 2 days of business out of 3. So you remember, if you're there for 5 days, this day is business, this day is business because you've got to get there. Then these 2 days are business because you had meetings or yada yada. Well, if one day is not business, what we're looking at is 1/5 of all of your expenses are not a write-off. Now, I'm still going to do airfare 100% because you had to get there for your business meeting. But 1/5 of everything else is not a write-off. Now, I guess if you want to be really anal, you could say, here's all my expenses the 4 out of 5 business days, and that one day, here were my expenses that day. But that bookkeeping would be a freaking mess. So whatever. All right. Okay, I'm going to jump to Q&A and try to wow you guys and see what I can do to help you out. What if we do a 7-day cruise? Ooh. Now that was, here, let's see, who's that's from? Real or fake? Well, I hope you're real. And by the way, my laptop is freaking
Hot.
It is hot. And what I need to do is put my Mai Tai here on. No, I'm joking. Okay, I'm going to hopefully keep this laptop from, if the laptop shuts down, we're going to call it a day. We'll see how long it lasts. Okay. So if it's a 7-day cruise, let me tell you, cruises are hard to write off. You have to look at the per diem limit per day. And you have to do business while you're on the cruise ship. And who wants to do business on the cruise? Who wants to do business on a cruise ship? The IRS has shot down the cruise ship write-offs at big time. So be careful. You're going to get a per diem write-off per day. Make sure you have your board meeting. More than that, unless you're doing trainings and things like that, it's going to be a hard write-off. I like the all-inclusives in Mexico or somewhere like that. Okay. Yes, the audio is too low, I think. I'm trying. Real or fake, it's 30 degrees in Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. Just soak it up here. You can see the sweat coming up. I didn't expect to sweat this much. All right. Okay. Jason has a mining question. Let's just go there for a minute. Jason says, when I'm setting up an LLC for my crypto mining, is there anything in particular to include? Not big enough at the moment for an S Corp who would love to transition to that later on. Jason, right now, okay, first of all, an LLC to do your mining, perfect. You can always make the S election when you have to, which you'll have to do if it's a personal mining operation. What I would think about is, and I would ask you if you're in a console, do you already have an S corporation? Is this your only business operation? If this is your only business operation, set up an LLC, you're off to the races. But let's say you've got a construction business, and it's an LLC or an S corp already. LLC tax is an S corp. Well, I'm going to set up your mining operation as a subsidiary of your main S corp. Then you're already an S corp if you need it. So Jason, my question would be, if you already have an S corp, make the LLC owned by your S corp. If you don't, just set up your LLC, convert when needed. Okay. Musician Mastery says, does this mean a band on tour can write off all food while on the tour? Hell yeah. And a tour bus, 100% write off. All the groupies and the, what do you call the guys that help set up all your stuff?
Equipment managers.
Managers. Roadies.
Roadies.
I need roadies. Can we need some roadies? Where do I get roadies? I need roadies. Okay, roadies, the tour bus, the food. Dude, you're on business. You're a musician. Freaking, if you're making money as a musician, I'm writing off your guitars, I'm writing off your keyboard, I'm writing off the whole deal because you're a business. Music Master, you gotta look more into that. ABC123 says, how to take real estate and transfer to business credit. ABC, most of you out there, if you're doing rental real estate, you really aren't going to need business credit. You're going to just use long-term mortgages to buy your rentals. The people I see using business credit are those doing fix and flips and rehabs, and they want to get away from hard money and try to build some corporate credit. So if you're doing fix and flips and rehabs, you're going to set up an entity, start doing your rehabs there, start creating operations, and start working on your paid-up score. And my book, Tax and Legal Playbook, I have a whole section on corporate credit. Start working on it and build it up. But you're not going to build it up in your rental LLC. You're going to build it up in your fix and flip LLC. Hacking Your Leadership podcast. If I travel with my children, can their flight tickets be written off as well if I'm flying and hosting my board meeting? Love it. Now here's the problem though. If your kids are 5 years old, 6 years old, 10 years old, I'm not going to be able to justify them on a board meeting. But when my kids became teenagers at age 14, 15, they were definitely on the board of directors. And think about it, teenagers know everything, right? So why not have them on the board? They'll tell you you're a freaking idiot. For those that have teenagers. Okay, so, but I do put teenagers on the board of directors and I'm okay with that. And then I would definitely write off their airfare and hotel and the whole 9 yards for that 1 day meeting, travel to get there and back. Other days, you're gonna have to peel those off. ABC, how do I retain your services? Thanks so much. We have a law firm and accounting firm. Get to markjkohler.com. You can learn more about all of our different services. Our IRA, self-directed Roth IRA company, for all of you that are out there doing those good things. Thank you for looking into us. We're really, really busy right now. Talk to paralegals, find out what options we have. Kay Mahita says, I'm in Hawaii too. See you there. Now, on that note, tomorrow, and Saturday, I'm doing my basic workshop in advance. And I know if you're here in Hawaii, we're already sold out, and the hotel's given us a limit of how many people we can have here. But everybody, in 2 weeks from tomorrow, I am doing my basic and advanced on Zoom. And you can sign up still at my website, markjkohler.com. It's a great investment. I know I'm going to save you thousands in taxes. Seriously, everybody that attends saves money. And it's extremely affordable, under $500 for both days. And
Link below.
the link's below. Okay.
Yep.
Corey says the link will be below. And what was I going to say? Oh, it's a tax write-off. It's recorded. If you can't make it for both days or part of it, you can watch it later. It comes with a workbook. You will freaking love it. So if any of you, this is your good, I'm going to go through my year-end tax strategies. It is so important. So that's December 4th and 5th. December 4th and 5th, I believe. So check that out. Okay. Musician Master, you're the man. Thanks, Mark. I love you, man. Okay. Do you have any info on one section? Oh, boy, I'm just reading questions here. I shouldn't read this one because I don't know the answer, but I will. Candace says, do you have any info on Section 139 disaster relief for business owners? Not off the top of my head, Candace. We do, when we get into that, I always research what the current rules are. And I hope none of you experience the need for disaster relief in your personal life or business. But Candace, just do some research and talk to your accountant. Okay. TTA Consulting says, need business startup ideas, how to launch a business that I'm legitimately studying finances, economics, and real estate, no income yet. Only personal investments, aka expenses, classes, training. TTA Consulting, all of you out there, if you're studying in school or going to workshops to be a better investor and better business owner, until you actually start making money doing business, not investments, you've got to go out and sell a product, sell a service. You're never going to be able really to write off traditional college education. But workshops, for sure, trainings, for sure, but only as maybe a startup cost or once you get your business operational. The biggest recommendation I make to all of you, gosh, I feel like I'm sweating like a pig here.
It's a sauna.
People.
It's a sauna.
It's hot out
here.
It's a
sauna.
I know, I'm going to go lay in the sun and get a real tan after this. Okay. But all of you out there, one of the best year-end tips I can give you, go out and make some money. Sell some crap on eBay. Go paint someone's kitchen. Go just do any type of service business you can and just make a little money. Now you're out of startup mode and we can start writing off more if possible in your small business. So get the business going. That's what I'm trying to say. Because education is not going to be a write-off in any way, shape, or form until at least the business is operational. Okay, I'm going to go back a little farther.
We got a good RV one.
Which one?
Can I write off my RV if I use both personal and business for business events and personal events?
Someone says, can I write off my RV if I use it for both business and personal? If it's not your primary residence. Now, I speak at RV workshops all the time. I love my RV clients. But, so if you're a full-time RVer, you're living in your RV and you're cranking around, all I can write off is mileage. There's your answer there. But for those of you that live in a sticks and bricks home, you have an RV and you're traveling to workshops, to work on your real estate, to work on business, maybe you're an RV inspector, an RV, oh my gosh, my RV group. I'll just say RV repair and inspector. Then your RV becomes a business vehicle. So I would take the number of days that you used it and prorate it. If it was 100 days and you had 50 days business and 50 days personal, I'm going to write off 50% of the RV. Now you have to have more than 50% use to depreciate it. So try to make sure that those days you're using it personally, you're finding a business purpose to be in the RV. If you see another good one, Corey, you throw it out. Okay. Frankie says, stocks under LLC, but how can I trade my crypto under business? Frankie, and everybody out there, when you're doing crypto trading or crypto investing, stock trading, that's not a business. It's investments. And I know there's workshops out there that say, well, I want day trader status and all that. You've got to be careful with that. There's pros and cons. You want to avoid self-employment tax. And it's a tricky classification. But I'll just say this. For all of you out, and this is me, my crypto trading, my investing is not a business. Real estate investing is. An operational business is obviously a business. But investing is really hard. So try not to think you're going to be able to write off home office, your laptop, your cell phone by just trading crypto. Now, crypto mining is a business because it's operational. You're providing a service. Watch some of my videos on crypto mining on that. Okay, I'm going to go back up to some other questions.
I had a really good one. They said, "Hey Mark, I am a model and influencer on social media, and I put my clothes in my posts or videos. Can I write that clothing off or props?"
Okay, so the person asked, they are a YouTube personality, and they use clothes, and they're a model, and they want to write off their clothes. Now, you said two different things here that are very important. If you are a YouTube personality, you're not writing off your clothes.
If you're an influencer, like
well, even
Instagram.
an influencer. I mean, I'm a YouTube influencer, I hope, for tax and legal. I can't write off my clothes for that. Now, there is an entertainment expense option or exception if you're an entertainer and you're buying clothes and you're getting paid for entertainment. Man, YouTube influencer, it's a whole new classification. You know, I might have to do a little research.
What if people? Because there's a bunch of people that will buy somebody or pay somebody to wear their clothes for them on their channels.
Okay, now if you're selling clothes and you're going to pay someone to wear your clothes on an Instagram, very common, you're writing off your clothes because you're producing clothes. But if you're just a personality wearing someone else's clothes or buying clothes to be on YouTube, I'm going to generally say most accountants would back off and say no. But maybe I need to look into that. A YouTube influencer and their clothes, are they an entertainer? But see, just because I go out and give a business workshop, I can't write off my clothes at the business workshop. Is it entertainment? I don't know if an influencer is entertainment, if it's educational in nature. Maybe PewDiePie can get away with entertainment. I don't know. Okay, the other thing you said, you're a model. Now, if you're a model, legit, you're going to be able to write off nails, hair, makeup, lots of things, because you're a model. Your body is your product. But what about your clothes? If you're a model, you're wearing someone else's clothes. So why are your clothes a write-off? Now, if your clothes are a write-off because you're doing a video shoot to work on your portfolio, and you're a legitimate model, I'd write off those clothes. But see, being a model is different than being an entertainer. And so I think you're gonna have a different set of justifications and rules for that. But I like where you're going with that. And see, guys, this is the beauty of tax planning. If your accountant isn't willing to be creative and talk about these types of things, you got the wrong freaking accountant. So just talk about it. And if your accountant is like, oh no, you can't write that off, you're like, you're fired. Freaking move on. You know? All right. Okay. What is the time frame does it typically take to get a revocable living trust to be able to send crypto from me to the revocable trust wallet? Rambo. Okay, people. First of all, this is a good point. I don't have my trust as the owner of my crypto wallets. I am individually. I guess you could set up an institutional wallet for your revocable living trust and then just transfer your assets over to that revocable living trust wallet. The problem is when you go to set up an institutional wallet, and we do this with charitable trusts, the CRT strategy, getting an institutional wallet is freaking not easy for an LLC or a trust. So I don't know. Your trust should incorporate your investments and assets. And it's true, if you have a Merrill Lynch stock brokerage account, I want your trust to own it. Or be the, so I wonder if on some of these personal crypto accounts, if you can name a beneficiary. And then you would name your trust as the beneficiary. I'm going to look into that. So Rambo, that's a great question. But the time frame, I applied, you know what's funny? I was just texting a friend today saying I just got my Coinbase institutional wallet for an LLC. Took me freaking 5 months. 5 months. It is not, I've had clients get a Kraken institutional wallet in a week, a Coinbase in a week. It's a crapshoot. I don't know. So good luck with that. I don't know the turnaround time. Okay. Marshall Smartest. Mark, how about retrieving crypto profits in Singapore and bringing those profits home? Okay, this is good, everybody. whether you own rental properties in Singapore or you own crypto in Singapore, if you're a US citizen, you're taxed on your worldwide income. Only Matt Damon in the movie Martian, even Matt Damon in the movie Martian, would have to pay taxes if he sold his potatoes to a Martian coming by. Because you're a US citizen. The only country, or the only territory where you could get some kick-ass write-offs, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, that's it. If you're a US citizen, you are taxed on your intergalactic income, unless you're living in Puerto Rico and meet, what was it, 61, section 61? Anyway, I forgot at the moment, 65. But you gotta meet the rules for Puerto Rico's residency. It's a 2-year strategy. So, if you're making, the first question on the 1040 now is, did you buy, sell, exchange cryptocurrency at any time during the year? They don't care if that's in Singapore or freaking New Jersey. You're gonna pay tax on it. So, you make money worldwide, crypto-wise, don't think you can hide it offshore. IRS is all over it, be careful. I'm gonna go down a little further. Most recent question here, Eldon. Started my LLC with KKOS last week. Does the bank account that the rental income goes into have to be in the state that it is registered in? Well, that's kind of an interesting question. Let me answer it this way, Eldon. Let's say I have a rental property in Arizona. Well, I set up my LLC in Arizona. I want my bank account in Arizona. And my rental client is going to pay rent to that LLC bank account. Now, if you say, well, I live in California. Well, I don't know if I want you to walk into a bank in California to set up your account anyway. Next time you're in Arizona, set up your account. But here's the trick. If you're going to set up a bank account with a nationwide bank like B of A, Wells Fargo, Chase, your tenant can deposit anywhere, online, whatever. But I want you to set up the bank account, its location, in the state where you set up the LLC. That's the best, because you're trying to create asset protection and legitimacy. So, Eldon, I hope that helps. The girls setting up your LLC at my office are going to send you a bank packet to go open your bank account, and try to do it in the state where you set up the LLC. We also have referrals for online banking, where you can just set up your bank account in a virtual bank account and move money around. It's getting easier to do that. John says, what about gifting cryptos? Well, if I gift Corey $15,000 or $15,000 of crypto, there's no tax to me, there's no tax to him. It's a gift. Now, I don't want to sell that crypto before I gift it, because I'm going to pay tax on the sale. So if I want to just transfer my crypto to him, as long as it's $15,000 or less, I pay no tax, he pays no tax. But if you do more than $15,000, you're going to have to start looking at the gift tax exemption limits, your lifetime gifting credit. It's complicated, so just live with that. Can I write off luxury bags for my laptop? Hell yeah. You can have a bag for your laptop. This is a write-off. My cell phone case is a write-off. My cell phone's a write-off. This drink is a write-off, my friends, because I'm traveling for business. Corey, I think it even tastes better because it's a write-off. 100% write-off. Okay, look at Corey's nachos here. I know it's disgusting. Corey's nachos, 100% write-off, because I paid for him. And he's here on business. He's my guy. He goes around with me and shoots video. He was shooting video in the ocean today. That's a write-off. So I wish I could take an entertainment expense surfing, but I couldn't. But we went and got good food after, 100% write-off. Okay, Tammy says from Virginia, looks beautiful in Hawaii today. It is. Okay. Sorry, I need a vacation. Victor, come to Hawaii. You gotta wear a freaking mask everywhere, but it's good. Okay, I'm gonna just do 2-3 more questions. Shalene says, I own a commercial shop that is held as a self-managed rental. Okay. I would like to use it for my LLC business. When I benefit on self-employment taxes if my business pays rent to me? Yes. Now, everybody, Shalene has a good question. Let's say you're a dentist. You got a dental business. You're an S corp. Let's say you're a contractor. You go do painting or construction or cement. That's your operational business. But then you own a shop for all of your gear, your vehicles, your equipment. Well, I want to pay rent to my LLC that owns my shop. It legitimizes the LLC for tax write-offs and for asset protection. And what's nice is the rent reduces your operational income, so you have to take less salary, thus paying less self-employment tax. Let me say this another way. If you're a dentist, you pay self-employment tax on your W-2, and then everything else is passed through. Well, if I pay rent to my own building, I reduce the amount of income that dictates how much my W-2 needs to be under the Kohler payroll matrix. So watch my video on S corporations on YouTube. Just type Kohler S corp. I got multiple videos. But Shalene, think about it. Paying rent to yourself reduces your FICA indirectly. That's what you want. Gosh, I'm sorry everybody, it's so gross here with me sweating. Okay. Valerie says, isn't American Samoa also another one besides Puerto Rico? I do not believe so. American territories like Virgin Islands and Samoa don't get the same treatment as Puerto Rico. You have to look into why. It's political. Stephen, how much can I pay my kid for my LLC without withholding any tax? Well, Stephen, first of all, let's say anybody out there with kids under age 18, you want to be paying them before the end of the year. If you pay your kids under age 18 out of an LLC or a sole proprietorship, you got to read my book or watch some of my videos on paying kids under age 18. If you have an S corp, there's an extra step there. But if you pay your kids under age 18, there's no 1099. There's no W-2. You don't withhold anything. You get a write-off as long as they're legitimately working in the business. Now, if you pay them more than $12,550 this year, they got to file a federal return. In some states, the exemption is less than $12,000. You got to look at the rules for your state. California's like $6,000 and something. So they might have to file a state tax return if they're over $6,000, but not a federal if they're under $12,000, if that makes sense. So anyway, Stephen, there's no withholding if they're under age 18. Now, if I pay my kids 18 and over with a 1099, there's no withholding. I freaking 1099 them. They're working on my business marketing or travel with me and helping with workshops, or they're going to my board of directors meeting. There's no withholding if I 1099 them. But my daughter Allison, who works in my business every week, like all the other employees, I have to pay her a W-2 because she looks and acts and is like every other employee in my business. So I have to withhold like a W-2. So Stephen, I hope that helps. Get into my book, Tax and Legal Playbook, on the chapter of paying family members, and just hit YouTube, Paying Kids Kohler. You'll see a bunch of videos. Okay, I'm going to do one more. This is from Karen. She says, I have an LLC that rents out my home for film and TV. Can I write off the furnishing purchase? Now, Karen, if you really are renting out your home for film and TV that's not your YouTube channel or your business, okay, first of all, let's back up. She says, I have an LLC renting out my home. Okay, if you have a personal residence, you're not going to put that in an LLC. You're going to put that in your Revocable Living Trust. So I'm a little concerned if you have an LLC for your primary home. Now, if you say, well, Mark, it's like half Airbnb or half bed and breakfast, or I live in LA and there's a lot of movie crews that want to shoot at my home. Okay, due to liability protection, I might put it in an LLC, but everybody, you don't put your home in an LLC generally. Okay, now let's say Karen's like, no, freaking Bosch, they're coming over to shoot video in my house all the time because they love it. Well, okay. If you've staged your home so that movie crews come and shoot video and film and they're paying you, yes, I'm going to write off your furnishings. I'm also going to write off a number of your other expenses. So, this is good, everybody, because think about it this way. If you have an Airbnb rental, when you furnish it, all that's a freaking write-off. Let's say you had your personal home and you turn it into a rental, an Airbnb. I'm going to write off all your furniture now that it's business. So furnishings are a write-off. I just need to understand the business purpose and make sure Karen's not trying to write off paying herself for videos shot in her own home. So Karen may be winking, going, well, that was the story. But I don't know. You know, movie crews might be showing up there. I'm going to do one last question. This is Tothgoff. It says, hey, Mark, I live close to Boise, Idaho, and would like to meet up with one of your team members soon. Oh, I want to get everything done at Trust LLC for my rentals and planning. Can we meet face to face? Well, Tofkoff and all of you out there, we meet with clients all over the country. I've got 11 tax attorneys, probably about 15 CPAs. We're constantly growing. We're really busy. Sometimes it may take 6 weeks or more for an appointment. But you can start working with paralegals right away. That's point number one. We do video calls, phone calls all day long. If you want to meet face to face, in Idaho, it's in eastern Idaho. You're about 5-6 hours from Boise. We're over closer to Jackson Hole. If you're in Utah, it's not Salt Lake, it's down in Cedar City, which is closer to Vegas, down in the Red Rock Deserts of southern Utah. If it's in Phoenix, we're right in the Phoenix office. We also have an office in Irvine, California, right at the junction of the 405 and 5. So if you want to meet face to face, just let the team know you're going to be coming into town. We'd love to see you. But Boise, not that close. All right, everybody, let me say this. I waited till the end of the podcast and we'll throw this out. I have a special on Cyber Monday, not Black Friday, Cyber Monday. 30% off all my digital products, one day only. So if you'd like, make sure you're signed up on my newsletter list. It's free. I do a newsletter every week, try to. And with that, you'll get an email announcement for my Black Friday special. Also, maybe note your calendar, log on to Mark's website on Monday after Thanksgiving. So big discount for those that want my online videos. I shoot new ones all the time. Once you're a member, right now, there's no monthly fee. We changed that. I had a good friend talking about my membership site and how I probably need to change it for 2022. But you'll be grandfathered in. Any of you that buy my videos, it's a lifetime membership right now. So look for that on Cyber Monday. Other than that, 2 weeks from tomorrow is my basic and advanced workshop live on Zoom. I'm going to go live to my farm with my cows that are in my health savings account, take you to my mining rig live, hosted in the local area, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So check that out. Lots of good write-offs. Everybody, thanks for joining me today. Thanks for putting up with my sweat. And make sure you write off your drinks on your travel deduction this holiday season. See you on the backside.